We got quite a crowd in here today, my friends. Woo! Must be something going on, huh? I wonder what that is. I don't need beads to throw, trust me. That's not a good idea. If I have beads to throw, someone's going to get hurt. Good morning, everybody. Happy Mardi Gras to all of you. Woo! I wonder if you'll join me in kicking off our service with a beautiful gathering litany here today. As we gather this day, we invoke not only the sublime, but the silly. Not only the reverent, but the ridiculous. Not only the holy, but the human. And the God to be found in the midst of it all. Happy Mardi Gras Sunday. Well, there's really only one song to sing today, right? Yeah. We should change that to when the Bucks go marching in. Shouldn't we in Florida here rather than when the Saints? Isn't that their arch nemesis? Oh. How about when the Vikings go marching in? It's purple, so you know. All right. Too early for football jokes. Let's rise up in body or spirit and join our voices and sing in an old classic and a great one from Mardi Gras. Oh, when the Saints. Please be seated. God, we just sing that all day. We can write our own verses till next week if we want. Oh, when the books are no longer banned. And when someone's not leader of this... I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mardi Gras Sunday at Faith United Church of Christ on this beautiful Sunday morning in Dunedin, Florida. Special welcome to everyone in person. We are in a packed house here. How awesome to see. And I'm hoping we're a packed house online, breaking records on the internet as well. Special welcome to any visitors we have with us online as well as in person. If you're online with us, just like the screen says, go ahead and like and share and subscribe if you're on Facebook and YouTube. And email the office at office@faithucc.org, and we'll get you on our mailing list. If you're in person, we have a book on our table in the gathering space, and you can go ahead and sign your information on that if you would like to receive regular updates on the many, many things that we have going on here at Faith UCC, starting today with Mardi Gras. Huh? You know what? This is our 8th annual Mardi Gras. We've missed one. obviously, I think it's 2020. We actually had it in 2020, and then COVID, and then we skipped it in 2021. So this would have been number 9, but this is 8 years of kicking this off. So how awesome is that? So thanks for coming out today and celebrating. We do have some business, though. Before you get out to all that tasty food and those Bloody Marys and all that, we got to just do a quick congregational meeting and discuss the possibility of our land sale in the back, that tiny little parcel in the corner that our neighbor's hoping to buy so they can put a fence up. They're going to put a fence up one way or another, so it's what do we want to do about that? And do we want to make some money off a very small piece of land that we'll never use for anything? So it's so small. We'll talk about that after the service. So stick around for the congregational meeting. We'll do it like right away so that we can then get out, right?
Let's do it before we do our last song.
Oh, before the song, for the benediction. Great idea, Fran. So we'll do that right before we sing our way out of here for peace. If it is Mardi Gras today, well, that can only mean one thing. Lent is coming up, right? I can't believe, where's the time gone? Ash Wednesday is this Wednesday. So we're not going to do a service per se this year, but we're going to have an opportunity for you to come and enjoy the space. We're going to have a labyrinth set up in here, a big labyrinth, and we'll have ashes from 11 to noon. And you know what? I'm going to do something new this year. If you even just want to drive through the circle, I can run out and ash you right there. I'll be watching. I'll be doing double duty on both doors. I can head out. You just kind of pull up, maybe honk your horn like you're here for an oil change or something. I'll run on out with some ashes, you know. Spread the word. Drive through ashes at Faith UCC. Well, we can do it all right there. Baptism, penance, communion, the whole works right there.
Put up a sign that says toot and tell or go to hell.
Toot and tell. Right, we're trying to stay on the rails, man. Trying to keep this going. Orderly direction. You're not helping. So 11 to noon and then 6 to 7. Again, the labyrinth will be in here and there'll be ashes. We'll have the imposition of ashes if that's something that's meaningful for you. I find it very meaningful to start my Lenten journey. So come either during either of those times, or again, just drive through and honk your horn, and I'll come on out and find you. So that's not a problem. March concert, Jeffrey Straker Duo. I think I have him here. There he is. This is going to be a great concert. I've listened to some of his music. He's really talented. He's going to be here. It's $20. Get you in the door. Get your beverages. Bring an hors d'oeuvre to share is what they're asking. You can buy tickets today. They're for sale at the table out there. So planning on coming out on March 11th. It'll be at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:15. And see the Jeffrey Straker Duo. Should be a great show. Real quick, let's do our Wednesday group announcement from Wendy.
On Wednesday, something else is going on. We're having psychic Carrie Steyer's daughter of Pam and Chuck, and she's going to be here to talk about her experiences. We're going to be meeting in the back room where the Sunday school room was. So if you have any questions, please ask me about it, or Pam if you want to. And come out, everybody is welcome, at 5 o'clock on Wednesday.
Come to hear Carrie, and then you can stick around for some ashes and walk the labyrinth afterwards. What a night we got built for you on Ash Wednesday. So thank you, Wendy, for coordinating that. Quick announcement as well. Next week, Black History Month, something we love here. We celebrate here every single year. We have a special guest. We have Professor Judith Scully, who will be joining us. She's from Stetson Law, and she will be here to, it's actually one of her students that's going to give us a discussion on, I think it's on wokeness, so if I'm not misunderstanding, but the nuances, the difficulties with the word. What does it mean, So I think this is going to be really interesting. So she's going to offer us a word during our sermon time, and then they're going to stick around. Judith Scully and her student will stick around afterwards to do a panel and kind of have a Q&A. So maybe a hospitality time, and then back in here, and they'll be up front here, and we can just get back in our seats and have a Q&A. And I think they'll be open to all sorts of conversations on many of the things that she's involved in. She's trial advocacy, criminal law, incarceration issues and injustice around the black community. So she should be really, really interesting, her and her protege, her young student. So that'll be next Sunday during the service and after the service. So do stick around. Is there another announcement I was going to make? I can't remember. Anybody? No? Don't prompt me. What?
What happened last Sunday, Mike?
What was last Sunday?
I don't know, no idea.
Oh, the Super. Oh no, I saved that for my sermon. I'll talk about Super Bowl in my sermon. Yeah. I do want to share some concerns here. Continue to hold Dolores Abad in your hearts and prayers. Dolores had a couple falls this week. She was hospitalized for a short time, but she is back home now. Thank God. So hold Dolores. I know you're online with us, Dolores. We're thinking about you this day, and she's doing better and mending it at home. So hold Dolores in your hearts and prayers. Hold Jude Decker in your hearts and prayers. I guarantee Jude's on with us. Hey, Jude. And Jude had heart cath on Valentine's Day of all days, on Tuesday. And she's doing well, recovering and waiting for her next steps on what is the next procedure for her heart and to get her back here with us. So we'll be excited to have her back when that time comes. So we're thinking about you, Jude. Need anything, lean on us. And also hold Mark Hewitt in your hearts and prayers. Had a call from Mark yesterday. Mark is home after having a burst appendix that did all sorts of damage. He was in the hospital for over a week. Really tough road to recovery, but he's back home. He sounded great. He's still got a ways to go on mending, but he's on the path. So Mark, we're so happy for you, for Bill, and if you need anything from us, just also lean on us and let us know. Yeah, Barbara.
Just one other Lenten thing on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Well, yesterday we installed our temporary labyrinth.
That was my announcement. Thank you.
Beyond the butterfly garden. It's beautiful. Feel free to walk it anytime, today, anytime. And on Saturdays during Lent, we'll have a guided walk at 10 a.m., which means that you'll have a choice of having pulling a thought from a basket, a little piece of paper that has a thought that you can focus on or use to guide you during that walk, and then a time to reflect on that afterwards. So come join us.
Yeah, the labyrinth, when you go to Mardi Gras, check out the labyrinth. It's in orange spray paint.
Yes.
The lines are, it's beautiful. It's really so well laid out. I walked it yesterday when I was here later in the afternoon. Really moving time, and just it's going to be a beautiful day. So yeah, take a walk in the labyrinth. If you have any questions, our labyrinth expert here, Barbara, will definitely walk you through them. And take her up on the offer for Saturdays for a contemplative experience during Lent. And I'll be sharing out some other ways that you can enter into Lent in a contemplative way as well. So watch for that. But the labyrinth every Saturday, 10 a.m. is an easy way to go. Yeah, Kathy.
Just wanted to say that we had a marvelous time on Thursday night protesting. It was great. We had about 50 people there. It was a time when DeSantis was going to have dinner that night, and there were about 50 of us, and it was great. I think we put the message across.
Yeah,
We did not get arrested, so that was good.
Yeah, a whole bunch of us showed up to support teachers, and the teachers' right to teach the things that they want to teach. So that's awesome. Is that for the not getting arrested or what? Yeah, you can go to Fox 13. A whole bunch of our Faith UCC folks are on a video. So this was about supporting our teachers. And Grant, from across the street, who's been under fire from these groups for a couple of years now because he teaches history. He's the most soft, well-spoken man. And he was there just having conversations with people, you know. And it was just a really cool night. It really was. It was about supporting our teachers. I know we have a lot of teachers here. And so it's just a good night of supporting teachers and supporting kids' rights to read the books that we want them to read. The books we grew up with, right? Green Eggs and Ham, Hop on Pop. I mean, The Catcher in the Rye. Come on. So it's a good night. Thanks for bringing it up. Go to Fox 13 if you want to see the updates on that. A couple of joys. Marge Miller had a birthday on Friday. Happy birthday, Marge. Kathy Doucette had a birthday on Friday. Happy birthday, Kathy. And I pulled this one off Facebook. I know Suzette Hughes, who I saw in the house here, has a birthday on Tuesday. So a special happy birthday to Suzette Hughes. And to all of you with birthdays this week and anniversaries, we celebrate you. If you want to have them celebrated during the service, as I always say, just go ahead and email me, and we will get them in the service.
The TV's in the gathering space.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. So as part of our AV upgrades, we now have real-time televisions that stream this service in the back and in the gathering space. So if you need to step out or you're just like, I don't know, I want some coffee. There's coffee in there, right? You can now go in and enjoy the services in the back and in there real time. There's no 25-second delay like there was. We're still singing, or we're done singing, and you still hear all the singing going on in the back. This is real time, so this is pretty cool. That can serve as an overflow eventually for us as well, because I have a feeling we're heading to overflow time talk. So, that's really good news. Our new camera will be coming in. They're having issues with our camera, so they're trying to get us going. But the sound is fantastic. Thank you for those that have commented on how good that sound is back there. Finally, the people in the back are like, he actually talks. I can hear him. It's amazing. So that's great. One more quick, and then we're going to move on.
Just a reminder that next week is the 4th weekend of February. So it'll be our Faith UCC Music Weekend. On Saturday, we'll have our drum circle at 4:30. And on Sunday, we'll have our Strings and Things Music in the Garden weekend.
Music, drum circle, strings and things in the garden next weekend. That is awesome. Talk to Roger or Mark for more information on that, and they'll be happy to get you through that. So, real quick, Karen, real quick.
Last week in New York, I took some of the sand with me from the mandala and spread it along Broadway in planters. So some of our troubles and problems.
Aw. You let it go in true mandala form. Yeah, you let it go in true mandala form. Real quick, and I got to move on.
Hi, I'm Brian Walker. I'm Joan's son. I've not been here before except briefly. I'd like to ask anybody who knows my sister, Laurie Walker, or my mother, Joan Walker, to talk to me after the service. We have a very serious situation in our family involving prosecution of Laurie for exploitation.
That's not necessarily true. So I'm going to ask you to kind of tone it down.
I've reached out to Mike on multiple occasions, and he doesn't reach back. I don't know why that is. We don't know one another. But anybody who knows my sister and mother, please speak to the answer.
Yeah, it's not what we're for here. We're not for here, Brian. You're welcome to stay, Brian, but you're just going to have to kind of keep that in. And
My understanding.
You're welcome to stay.
Is that you would support members of your
oh,
congregation.
we do support members of the congregation, absolutely. So,
That's what I'm asking.
and we're delighted to have you here with us, and you're more than welcome.
Thank you so much.
You bet. You bet. Hey, one of my friends will, I know it's Mardi Gras and you don't want to get outside, but we need to breathe. We need to take a few breaths and collect ourselves in these moments. So I invite you just to close your eyes and breathe deeply into your bones, into your being. Breathe in this present moment and remind yourself as you do that it's such a beautiful moment and it's a beautiful day. And we're together. The Spirit of God swirling around us and within us. Breathe in a sense of hospitality today as we do what Jesus loved to do. Eat. And dine. An awful lot. So just breathe in a sense of Mardi Gras joy, and let's let this be a wonderful day, a celebrating community and one another. I want to take us a little deeper into the service with a beautiful video from the Work of the People, short video on hospitality. Let us be in worship together.
Holy presence of God, you shimmer in every stranger I encounter, whether in the world or in my heart. When you came in human form, you sat at table with all those who walked the edges of life and knew their presence as sacred. Create in me a space to welcome in all that is hard and disorienting. Those moments when I feel lost, angry, heartbroken, overwhelmed, ashamed, joyful, grieving, or in love with life. Help me to honor the guests who arrive at the door, to to usher in the grace that newness offers and find Christ's compassionate presence there. May your infinite compassion grow in me the way sunlight spills across a field and include everyone in that loving embrace.
Our readings today are a medley of several readings, but all with one theme. See if you can guess it. One of the Pharisees invited Jesus to dinner. He entered the Pharisee's house and reclined at the table. Levi gave Jesus a great banquet in his home, and a large group of toll collectors and others dined with him. Now, as they were going along, Jesus came to a village where a woman named Martha invited him into her home for a meal. 3 days later was a wedding in Cana in Galilee, and Jesus' mother was there, as was Jesus and the disciples. When the wine had run out, Jesus' mother said to him, "Jesus, they're out of the cheap wine." Well, we all know what happened from there. These are just a few foodie scriptures. I think you get the point. Jesus liked to eat, and with a lot of different people. Today, as we celebrate Mardi Gras, it's a good day to remind ourselves of that.
That was a dramatic reading. Nice job. Nailed that. Whew. Well, here we are. First Sunday in over 6 months without, as Nat was talking about, football. The Super Bowl having come and gone last week. It's only been a week. Feels like a year. Oh, my God. Did you all watch the big game? Anybody watch the big game? Yeah? Oh, I always see quite a few hands going up. It was a great game, right? Oh, my God, it was a great game. Did you watch Rihanna at halftime? Yeah. Who get this, after giving birth to a baby 8 months ago, and now we find out she's 2 months pregnant, she put on an amazing halftime show. What a thing to behold, a great game, an epic game. And I will say in a halftime show that, while not quite rising to the level of Prince playing Purple Rain in the Purple Rain, y'all remember that? It was still a really good halftime show. And what about the commercials? Are they ain't good anymore? Yeah, have those days kind of passed us by? Anybody have any favorites on the commercials? What? The dog commercial, which one?
His people are leaving and he's depressed. Staring out the window, he's ripping the house apart.
The dog rips up the house. I do remember that. What was it for? Do you remember what it was for?
Amazon.
Oh, it was for Amazon. We often don't even remember what these things are for, do we? Of course, we had the usual, suspects. We had the terrible beer commercials, as I like to call them, and it's not the commercials that were terrible, it's actually the beer that they were promoting. Bud Light, Miller Lite, come on. Busch Light? When did Busch Light make a reappearance? That from the 1970s and 80s? Where did that come from? Just awful. I was looking actually this week at a USA Today article, and the favorite commercials from the Super Bowl, and there were the beer commercials, and there was Amazon and Doritos commercials, and a few truck commercials, Pepsi One ads, I don't even know what that is, and even one for Hellman's Mayonnaise, which I'm pretty sure was for Tom Miller. Specifically, he loves mayonnaise back here. But the most interesting ones, even placing in the top 10, according to, you know where I'm going, don't you? According to the USA Today, were the ones called He Gets Us. He gets us. The He, anybody know who the He is? Jesus. Jesus gets us. That's my interpretation of how they should be said anyways. But did you see those? $20 million for 2 ads about how Jesus gets us? So at first glance, the ads, they actually kind of lured me in. They seemed kind of refreshing. They're showing, Jesus is a refugee. How often do you see that in like an evangelical circle? Never. Or Jesus with the marginalized. Or Jesus who suffered for the sake of his love for the people of the world, with words tagged onto him like inclusive and activist. I never thought I'd see those words from that circle tagged onto Jesus. But if you dig into these seemingly harmless ads, you'll quickly realize something else is going on here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're like, what is he talking about? I didn't see these ads. Go to www.hegetsus.com. Jesus has his own website. Hegetsus.com, and you can watch the 2 Super Bowl ads and others as well. There's a whole bunch of them. They're interesting for sure. But before you go and watch them, keep in mind their incredibly misleading nature. Really misleading nature. See, these ads, while looking hip and almost progressive, are really a front funded by folks and organizations known to be ultra-conservative Christians, such as the owner of Hobby Lobby, for example. I had to go into Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago. Oh my God, it's a painful experience. It's all this kitschy Jesus stuff, and it's like, I could not wait to get out of Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry. I'll take Michael's or Joanne Fabric any day. Just don't send me to Hobby Lobby. So the owner of Hobby Lobby is a big-time supporter of these ads and a major funder of these commercials is this movement, as are other entities that are known to be anti-women's choice and anti-LGBT. And even though you'll see quotes saying things like this on their website, rediscover the life and teachings of Jesus, the most radical love activist, words actually that we might employ here in this progressive haven, but to them they mean very different things, and the word love is used much, much more narrowly. My main takeaway from these ads is that some very wealthy conservative Christians, they looked around and they finally recognized the truth and reality of the death of their brand of Jesus. And they're shrinking churches and offering plates, while seeing the more progressive attitudes of younger generations. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to rebrand their Jesus superficially, while pulling the wool over the eyes of younger folks whom they need for the future. That's my take. They are trying, in other words, to make the rotten, judgmental, spoiled, judgmental Jesus they have been serving to the masses a bit more palatable for the sake of courting younger folks. And well, I don't buy it. I didn't buy it from the get-go. And with most things, if you want to know a movement's real mission, what is the old saying? Follow the money. You might not like where it leads you. I was thinking about this campaign all week, and I'll admit I was a bit confused over it at first. And it's really not, it's not the money spent on the Super Bowl ads that bothers me. Don't forget the United Church of Christ tried to run a Super Bowl ad. You remember that back in 2004? An ad that not only got rejected by the Super Bowl committees, but was banned by every single major television network as well, which is good, actually, a good thing. It's called the Bouncer ad, and who here has seen the Bouncer ad? Oh, only a handful of folks. I'm surprised. I know I've showed it a couple times. Well, lucky for you, I happen to have a clip. So let's watch. So I'm not really ripping on them for spending money on the Super Bowl ads. We did the same thing.
No. Step aside, please. No way. Not you. I don't think so. No.
The United Church of Christ. No matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you're welcome here.
That ad was rejected as too controversial. GoDaddy ads came next. If you've seen those, you know what I'm talking about. But that, love and inclusion and justice and all that good stuff, welcome, was was controversial because it offended denominations who were definitely a little on the less inclusive side of the United Church of Christ. That ad turned into other ads, the ejector ad. I didn't include that, but maybe you've seen the ejector ad, which is a little more funny than that one, where they just eject people right up on out of their seats. And their branding campaign with those ads was often running. So I'm not at all bothered by an ad campaign for Jesus in general. I think the UCC one was excellent and was really inclusive. Branding takes money. That's just a reality. I get that. But the Jesus espoused by the UCC in 2004 and the one now being sold to us by this He Gets Us movement, they're really, really different. They're really different beasts. And I'll be honest, the He Gets Us campaign, it's not only is it totally misleading, more than that, it's just kind of plain stupid, actually. Those are my words. For Jesus doesn't get us today. He doesn't get us today. Rather, He got us a long time ago. He got us a long time ago, and He paid the ultimate price for getting us. So the question today then is not, does Jesus get us, that they're asking. No, rather the question should be, do we get Jesus? Yes. Right? Yes, thank you. They're asking the wrong question, and therefore all they're going to get is a Jesus that looks just like they want him to, only a little more hip. That's what they're going to get. So here's the real problem I have with this ad, this He Gets Us. The facts are that Jesus lived, challenged the ways of the world, inspired a movement of love that would endure and grow, and along the way He journeyed into the lives of people in rich and engaging ways. He heard their joys and their pains. He broke bread with anyone and everyone, as we just heard, and He was ultimately killed for advocating for a way that challenged the power of Rome, something that He Gets Us people will never mention, and their hold on the Jewish people, and especially their hold on the poor. He was killed. They forget that. He was killed. So Jesus cannot get us because Jesus was put to death on a cross by the Romans for dreaming of a different kind of world. And therefore He's dead and gone. Living on, however, is a source of inspiration, as an example of what the love of God can look like in the world. So He can't get us anymore. He got the people of His time, it's true. Jesus got us once upon a time, and He died for it then, hoping His message would resonate wide and far, keeping His dreams alive for all time. So the question again is not whether Jesus gets us today, which is kind of impossible, but rather it's whether we get Jesus today. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this group of wealthy Christian conservative donors, many of whom are anonymous, funny, well, I'm not all that confident that they get Him at all. Well, why would I say that? Mike, come on, why would you say that based on a couple commercials? Well, it goes deeper than that. I mean, if you routinely lobby against the poor and the struggling, especially with your finances, your money, and your donations, denying them a hand up when down and out, cutting Medicaid expansion, cutting SNAP programs and other resources that help the vulnerable, well, I don't think you get Jesus, and there's no way in heck He would ever get you, even if that was possible. I mean, didn't Jesus say something one time like, I was hungry and you gave me food to eat? I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink? Those words sound familiar? And if they believed in using immigrants cruelly over treating the stranger in our land with nothing less than open arms, a meal, and a welcome, well, you don't get Jesus, and Jesus will never get you. For didn't Jesus say one time, I was a stranger, and you welcomed me and invited me in? I missed that. They believe in a never-ending perpetuation of guns to harm and kill. They don't get Jesus, and Jesus sure as heck's never going to get them, even if it were possible. Or didn't Jesus say to Peter when he drew his sword, you remember when he's being arrested and Peter draws his sword and he cuts the ear off of one of the guards? What did Jesus say? He said, put away your sword. Put away your weapon. No more of this. No more violence. That's what Jesus said. They don't get Him. He's never going to get them. If you believe in stripping rights away from women and putting them back in the kitchen like they were in the 1950s, if you believe in denying the rights and humanity of our LGBT sisters and brothers, if you prop up racism and anti-Semitism and white supremacy, and if you hide the facts of history or ban kids from learning about the diversity, the beautiful diversity in the world, or make it harder for folks to be who they feel God created them to be, well, then you certainly don't get Jesus, and he's never, ever going to get you. He's never going to get you, because it's impossible to do as he said when he said one time, if you believe those things, Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. Those don't fit, do they? Love your neighbor as yourself. When these hurtful things are practiced as the heart of one's faith, as they do so often, well, it's hard to make hatred hip, as they're trying to do, no matter how hard one tries. But if you advocate for the things the Gospels tell us Jesus was actually for, they're all over the Scriptures: feeding the hungry, welcoming the stranger, challenging oppression, calling a nation to repent, cutting across all boundaries by being radically inclusive, encouraging people to share their resources, and especially with those who are hurting. And of course, of entering into the lives of people as Jesus did countless times, as we heard from Kathy, her readings at the table, meeting people amidst their joys and their pains and their struggles and their grief. If you do all of these things, Jesus doesn't need to get you, because you get Jesus, and the world will look more like he dreamed it than ever. I think if Jesus were actually here today, he would say, oh, people, I got you a long time ago. The hope is that by now you would have gotten me. You've only had 2,000 dang years to do it. What happened? What happened? But the reality is that for far too many Christians, like the he gets us kind, their attempts to rebrand their message shows us that they have not. And I'm wondering if they ever care to, even in the first place. I have a feeling getting their political agendas filled trumps anything Jesus might actually have taught anyway. And if we just again follow the money, that all becomes crystal clear. He gets us. What a charade. What a charade. Don't buy it. End of my rant. End of my Super Bowl Sunday rant. That all leads me to today. I had to get that out. That all leads me to today, when we get Jesus today. We totally get Jesus today. And in just a bit, as we gather to break bread together, to share a meal, something he did all the time, and to build a stronger sense of community, sharing in each other's lives from Mardi Gras. If there was ever a time to get Jesus, well, a shared meal is most certainly, as we heard, at the top of that list. I don't need to go into all the other countless times and moments in scriptures when Jesus is out dining with people. That man would eat a meal anywhere with anyone at any time. Amazing. All sorts of people. Time and time again. It's the ultimate theme of the Gospels, really. They should just change the Bible to Jesus' food ministry. What if Jesus had a food truck? What it would be? That'd be pretty cool, going to Jesus' food truck. Holy rollers or something like that. Bread and wine. I'm just trying to come up with some things on the cuff here. Help me. Help me name this food truck. We need a Jesus food truck. When we get at the table, as we're going to do today, a shared meal and a time to talk and share our lives with others was the hallmark of Jesus' way in the world. Well, then we truly begin to get Jesus on a much deeper level. And today is about just that. Sharing a meal with friends on, my God, what is a beautiful, beautiful day. So let us proclaim that boldly, that let's put the other he gets us stuff aside, and let's claim that we get him, right? That we get Jesus today. And let us trust that if he were wandering by, let's just say, bear with me here, Jesus is walking on by, he's coming down the sidewalk, somehow he ended up in Dunedin, I don't know, he's looking for the synagogue, he's wandering by. I have a feeling he'd catch the whiffs of our feast, and he would surely make himself known and sit down for a meal and a chat. I'm not sure he'd enjoy a Bloody Mary. Well, I wasn't a thing back then. I wouldn't know what it is, right? There's nothing to do with his mom. Come on. But there's plenty of water he'd turn into wine, I'll tell you that much. The Spirit of Christ is among us, my friends. So let's just have a good time today. Let's revel. Let's get outside. Let's shake a new hand. Let's give an old friend a hug. And let's just celebrate our annual Mardi Gras feast and really the gateway to Lent. So what I say to you today is, don't buy that he gets us stuff. And happy Mardi Gras. And I hope you have a wonderful and contemplative Lenten season. We're going to do some good stuff here, so make sure you join us. He gets us, right? No, he doesn't. We get him. Amen, everybody. Let's have fun. Come on. All right, friends, I wonder if you'll join me in this little moment of prayer, centering ourselves. And as we live this day, may it be a day of gratitude, and may God be felt powerfully in and around us, within us. For the breath of a new day and the chance to begin yet another day anew and meet it with courage and peace, let us give thanks. And the sense of awe and wonder for the joy of loved ones and memories of loved ones who have passed, and for the beautiful gift of diversity, and for a shared meal together in Mardi Gras, and the chance to celebrate the goodness of life together in community. For all this, let's give thanks in this day. Let us also be in a spirit of presence today as well and into this week. And presence for those who are struggling with illness or recovering from surgeries and procedures and are in pain. And presence with those who are wrestling with addictions. And always presence for those who are alone, who feel lonely. Presence with those who are making difficult decisions or struggling to make decisions in difficult times. Oh God, be with them. For presence in the hard times, in the good times, in all times. Let us pray this day. Finally, oh God, we stand in a spirit of hope. Hope for those who are suffering in the world from poverty, homelessness, and lack of basic needs. For people seeking new life and new lands to call home, to raise a family, or to make a living, or just to live in safety. Oh God, we pray for our immigrants, our refugees, our asylum seekers. Hope for places where war rages, thinking of the people of Ukraine and other areas where people are suffering from such terrible war. And how about hope for a nation that's divided on so many issues? And for all this and more, oh God, we stand in a spirit of hope this day. I wonder if you'll join me in praying together a beautiful interpretation of that ancient prayer that Jesus taught us long ago. The words are on the screen. Will you join me? Loving Creator, we honor you. We honor all that you have made. Renew the whole world in the image of your love. Give us what we need for today, and a hunger to see the whole world fed with peace. Strengthen us for what lies ahead. Heal us from the hurts of the past. Give us the courage to follow your call in this moment. For your love is the only power, the only home, the only honor we need in this world and in the world to come. Amen. I know we all are smelling food. We want to get outside and dine together and have a good time. So we're going to try and keep this as brief as possible. We're just going to roll into this right now. We got all of you present. We're going to, first of all, let me just say thank you for all of your incredible giving. You are the most generous congregation. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. If you're visiting with us, whether online or in person, you're more than welcome to make a gift today. If you're online with us, just go to our website at faithucc.org, and there's a give link there. And if you're in person and you're like, God, I got all this cash in my pocket. I won big on my Super Bowl bets, you know. I took the Chiefs, luckily over the Eagles. There are plates in the back, and you can make a love donation to the work that we do together. It all helps us to spread our word wide and far. So thank you for your incredible generosity. Now, everyone's welcome to stay for this. Remember, if we get to, assuming we get to a vote, we're going to hope to get to a vote here. Members are welcome to vote, but everybody's welcome to stay and comment. And if you're not otherwise, we have hospitality going, and we'll get going here as soon as we can. So I'd like to invite up Fran forward, and then we're going to sing our way out of here right after this. So for our congregational meeting.
Okay, as moderator, I'd like to call this congregational meeting to order and ask any of you who are members to please raise your hand so we can be sure we have a quorum. Easy one this time. Okay. We had mentioned in a couple of meetings prior that our neighbor to the east, that way, over there, west, Mike says west, had initially offered, do you have a slide? Oh, you had initially offered $7,500 to us for a triangle of land. We talked about that and said that we weren't really interested in that, and so he came back and asked for what is a 30 by 50 piece
I
of
think
land.
the numbers are wrong on that. That was
Yes.
one word triangle. It's that little section, it's the red and the blue.
It's, right,
Together.
his initial offer was for the red,
Yeah.
and the current offer is for the blue. So for the red triangle, he had offered us $7,500. For the blue rectangle, he has offered us $40,000. Betty? The blue and red,
yeah.
the blue and red together.
Imagine that's all one color.
Right, right. It includes the pole, the electric pole, and none of that area have we ever mowed, because we didn't even know it was ours for a long period of time. So I need a motion on the floor to, and the leadership team recommends that we accept this offer. So I need a motion to, Dan Mann gives a motion that we accept the offer. Anybody second? A second from Marge Brown. And discussion. Yes.
Just real quick, that pole that there is not affect this land, our land at all.
It does not affect our land at all. It will be within his fence, but it will have an opening so that the utility trucks can get in there to service it. Yes.
It appears to be a perfect place for the labyrinth.
Actually, it's not. Actually, it's not, because of the power pole being right in the middle of it. So yes, and the goal of the Anamkara group is to have the labyrinth over by where the garden is, where it's laid out now. Any other questions? Yes.
Does it impact future growth in any way?
We have looked at it, and it does not appear that we can ever have a use for that piece of land, so probably not. We have, also in his offer, he has offered to pay for the cost of surveying and getting the land transferred. That's in addition to the $40,000 that he's offered. Yes?
Was he asked why $40,000?
Because he thought that was a fair price. It's more than triple what he had initially offered for, yes.
And how does that compare to other land transactions in this community?
Betty has done some research on that, and it compares favorably, correct, Betty, with other land transfers? Right, so what Betty's saying is that she did look at land prices in Pinellas County, and what he was initially offering was about equivalent to land prices. It's hard to say, because it's not a usable piece for much of anything, and he's now offering $26 a square foot, as opposed to, it was like 8 or 9. Yes?
Right. Usually when things are too good to be true, there's usually a problem. There's a lot of money, from $7,500 to $40,000. So, why?
What, we think it is, well, we know that he wants to fence in his entire yard. He has 2 little girls, and there are a bunch of kids from the high school that wander through their property all the time. That really worries them. And so he is going to fence his entire property. And what he's asking for this is it can make the property square. Yes?
Fran, I'm not a member, but I'm confused by the dimensions up there. You can't have 3 dimensions for a rectangle.
Ignore
No,
those.
ignore the, yes, the red and blue together is what he is asking to purchase.
Do you know the size of it?
The size of it is 30 by 50.
Yeah.
Right. Right. What Betty is saying is that we don't know why our land, when we bought this property, our land had that crazy shape to it, and he wants to buy that crazy shape so it will make his property lines straight.
So would the power pole be on our property, on his property?
The power pole will be on his property. Yes, Peter?
Any disadvantages
not going through with this deal?
Not that we have been able to determine. Unless any of you can think of disadvantages. Ron?
Is he gonna remove a lot of trees without a permit?
We don't know. Those trees are on his property, so we don't know. He did offer, he asked us if he could buy an additional 15 feet all the way across so he could get that big tree as part of his property, and we said no to that. We were not interested in doing that.
And there are no trees back there, right where that rectangle is, there's no
Right.
trees to be removed back there, so it's just a wide open swath of land.
He has removed some trees from his property, but yeah, none of, we don't know what he's doing with his property.
One question for future, is there expansion that you guys want to do going back there, like a parking lot or another building or anything that we're going to have issues with in the future?
We don't, I anticipate that, we do anticipate that we're gonna have to make some changes and some growth, but that land is not usable with the power pole in the middle of it, so that's, yes. Anybody else? Yes?
Are there setbacks that would go, be put in place because of selling that would create an issue for us?
Not that we are, the question is, are there setbacks that would create an issue for us, and none that we are aware of. Any other questions?
Just real quick, only because I'm not familiar with the law, with the real estate laws here in Florida. Have you consulted with a real estate lawyer who understands the ramifications of a yes or a no? Do we have anybody here that's a lawyer that you have spoken to?
Yes, Betty has been in touch with Alan Kynes, and he's given us some advice that, yes, and he does not see any problems with it. Anything else? Okay, are we ready for a vote? All right, all in favor of taking a vote, say aye. Okay, all in favor of accepting the offer for $40,000 for that piece of land, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Let's go eat! Oh, you gotta sing! Let's rise up and body your spirit. We got to do our song before we go eat. So let's rise up, body your spirit, sing our song of peace, benediction, and then let's go eat and have fun.